No one's gonna stop rock and roll from existing.
What have we done?
I think we jumped back.
Call up to the gods and reach the sky. My soul is lost, I will not die. Heaven is so far, it's hell on earth torn for. And remember, Batman has always got your back.
Welcome into the fourth Mother Box. Happy Sunday, July 9th. As you hear Rapture back there crinkling down in the audio, that was recorded a very long time ago, and you've heard us talk about that infamous song from Scourge. But welcome into the fourth Mother Box. You were following us at Fourth Mother Box on Instagram, youtube.com/Fourth Mother Box. Welcome into the madness. There's jack shit to talk about today, but I am Tom Oakley, joined with me as always for 5 years straight, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know that he was the runner-up for the Gerber baby? Kyle Cosentino. Kyle, how the hell are you today?
That was dumb.
No, it wasn't. You're just...
And everything that you guys say on Jedi Talk is just really dumb.
Like?
I mean, really, you name a fish on the Halcyon after my mom? That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, that's just like you showing you guys don't even try. Like, you guys don't even try to make a good insult. You just, like, whatever comes out of your... Like, whatever comes to mind, you just say it, and it's you guys just, like, laugh like idiots.
Hey, Cosentino, why'd the video go viral then?
Well, you have... I mean, stupidity breeds stupidity. I mean, we have an abundance of stupid in this world, so I'm not surprised that you guys don't have a following of stupid people. I mean, you have Brad Hughes on your podcast. I mean, that says everything. And Evan... Oh, don't even get me started on Evan. He's on my shit list for sure.
Evan T. Buttshade, you want to start out this podcast? Kyle, there's nothing to talk about today, so if you want to make this one controversial and say shit about Evan, let's go.
Let's make today's podcast. The goal for today will be to get canceled. So
we could do that.
Let's make sure we get canceled. And let me talk about Evan T. Buttshade for a second here. This guy has a lot of opinions, and we're supposed to listen to him. Yet, he's like the only guy in the world that has seen Avatar: The Way of the Water and likes it and is a fan of this franchise. And not only that, he thinks The Last Jedi is the best film in the Star Wars franchise. And yes, I'm going there again because you guys keep saying that, and I feel like that's just the wrong route to go. I mean, if you want to like increase your numbers and you keep saying The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie, it's just like you're turning people off. And this is like, I'm trying to help your podcast here. Like, stop turning people off.
We don't need any help.
Podcast.
And if we did need help, like, we wouldn't go to the Pride and Joy Mount Greenwood.
There's no argument that you can have to support that The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars film. There's just none. So,
do you want to rehash this argument for the 57th time, or you want to get to talking about how Evan T. Buttshade sucks?
Well, this is a part of how he sucks. I mean, I've listened to his arguments about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and at no point does he make any relevant arguments that are decent and good. Like, he just has... It was like he was trying to... He was trying to find ways to rip on it, and he had nothing. He had nothing good to say. And it seems like there's a dynamic that seems to exist. It's like if you and Brad agree with it, he doesn't agree with it.
True.
It seems to be the case.
Yeah. And he and Brad did go pretty hefty back and forth on the specific time travel aspect of Indy 5. Here's kind of, and we can talk about this for a second, because you and I had been talking about box office numbers, and I've got them pulled up on the left of me here. I'm looking, but before we get into that, like, movies are just not doing all that well right now, and I want to talk about Indiana Jones 5 specifically because I'm seeing a lot of positive reaction from this movie to the people who have seen it. I don't know why it's not doing well at the box office, right? We've talked about why The Flash isn't doing well, right? Like, you can paint some pictures with that. But everybody's calling Indiana Jones, it's now woke and Disney ruining it. But have you seen the movie? I don't think they've done any of that. People are calling him depressed old Indy and backed into a corner. I just don't understand that. I think people have caught on to being addicted to hate, and it's like keeping people away from the movies. It's like, I don't want to go see that. I'd rather post online and get likes for saying I hate something because that's popular to have a hive mind of hate, because now that's what it is. Back in the day, people using to hate on something kind of used to be trendy and hipsterish, and we always just kind of looked at those people. I'm like, they're just haters, and that's where that term comes from, right? But literally think about this now. And Kyle, tell me if I'm crazy. I mean, I know I'm crazy, but it's like, isn't it more apt to hate on something immediately? And it's like you feel like there's less people who actually enjoy the product for what it was presented as. It's like there's this movement, there's this culture. Like we're just at war with each other. Like the fact there hasn't been like a full blown civil war yet is just blown my mind, with how much people are trying to pit us against each other. And I'm not calling for that. We all have a common ground here of being a human being, so calm the fuck down. But isn't it just wild that just everybody just jumps to hate everything? And I don't know what is there to hate about Indiana Jones 5. Like, you can dislike it and disagree with where they went, which I respect Evans, I respect his opinion. But to come out and just say you hate it because of wokeism is just rebrand yourself, okay? Like, get out of that mindset. It's just ridiculous. Am I off base here?
No, you're right in the mark, and I feel like it's true. And this one got a lot of really bad press for some reason, and it just really didn't deserve it. I don't understand why. I mean, The Flash certainly makes sense for a lot of reasons, like all the hate that it got. But the film, again, was still a good film. Indiana Jones, I could see maybe some people not getting into that, but 95% of the comments that I read was that it was good. And the people who are negative sound like they haven't seen it.
Right.
So when did we become a culture where we're actively listening to the critics? And these people have no credentials whatsoever. A 5-year-old could review a movie.
Yeah.
A job is so easy that a 5-year-old could do it. So why are we listening to these people? It's like the least skill set in our society is to review a movie. Okay, I mean, holy shit.
Well, that's the thing. Look at what you and I are doing, right? Right. We've created a platform for ourselves, and this is real simple, right? I signed up for a free account on Anchor 2 years ago. Bought this microphone on Amazon about a year later. I have a mixer down here that I purchased. I'm hooked up to my Android phone. That's where you hear the music and hear the drops. Right, I bought a Zoom recorder after using it for Jedi Talk with my buddy Brad. Kyle's on my Chromebook here through Skype. It's not that hard to do this shit, but it's like the phone, the video, the access to people having platforms it's made it easier to spread this kind of vitriol hate. And Kyle, I think you made mention of like why we're doing this all of a sudden, and it's like why is there such like a need and drive for doing all of this? It's just. I think it's just like the nature of the beast and how society has moved, right? There's like this war against Disney right now, and rightfully so, right? Disney has made some questionable decisions, but they've also made some terrific ones, right? Greenlighting Cosmic Rewind. I think that's fantastic. That's a wonderful ride that families will be able to enjoy for years upon years, right? What Galaxy's Edge, the Hellsing, even though it's closing down, there is good things that Disney has done and they continue to do, but then there's questionable things that they do, like, hiring Bob Chapek and Bob Chapek taking all the money for projects and using it for his nacho budget, instead of putting it into the parks or putting it into Disney or putting it into Disney Plus.
That's why Disney was in a deficit during his period, because he was channeling all the funds into his nacho cheese addiction.
You heard it here first on Fourth Mother Box, ladies and gentlemen. The reason Disney lost money was because Bob Chapek funneled the budget into his personal nacho. His little McMansion that he has, or his mansions. How many rooms do you think he's dedicated for his nachos?
At least three. I would say at least 3.
It's a lot of nachos. But he's no longer part of the problem. Bob Iger is still shouldering that load. They're cutting jobs, but like there's been like this war, and it's I hate to say it, it is political. It is, because there's two sides, right? There's one side that's weaponized the hate against Disney, and then there's one side that's like promoting what the other side is not liking about them at that current moment, right? Like the stuff with Ariel, I think it's stupid. They picked her for live action, whatever. You don't have to go see the movie. Just shut up about it. You know, I think there's questionable decisions when they just, people just don't like change for change without there being like a pertinent tell to the story, right? And people think they're going woke, and while I think that's true for some aspects of what Disney's doing, it's people aren't rationally looking at things, right? Disney is for everybody. So if they make content for a subsection of the population and it's not for you, look a little bit longer. You're going to find something for yourself that Disney's put out there. It's just,
I wouldn't. I don't know. I feel like you're right on the mark, right? I mean, and it's not like they're finding cocaine in like one of the West Wings of Disney HQ over there. Or anything. I mean, I don't know. I felt like I needed to insert that somewhere, but
it's topical.
I'm sorry.
Nicely done.
I'm sorry about that.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize.
I'm not going to apologize. No apologies today. Our goal today, people, is to get canceled. So I'm going to try my best to do that. And you're absolutely right. I think Disney is always been about diversity. I mean, I still think they have that rule against cast members with tattoos, because we know they're just the most unacceptable, awful, offensive people on the planet.
Actually, they took that away, dipshit, like 2 years ago. So
did they really?
Yes, absolutely. You'll see it. Just look. Pay attention next time you're in one of the parks. Like I've seen like the day they took that away, I saw people with tattoos like cast members. Such thank God.
So if you wanted to be Cinderella, you could be Cinderella. You personally, you could audition.
No, it's not like that. Cinderella can't have a sleeve of tattoos, but like cast members can have tattoos. Like if I'm over there operating Haunted Mansion, I could sit there staring at the little kid who's scared out of his mind and be like, "Are you going to be our 1000th haunt today, little Jimmy?"
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a Cinderella with a sleeve of Metallica albums. I mean, that wouldn't be the worst thing. I mean, I think that would actually be an improvement.
Welcome to my castle, ride the lightning. Take a picture, I'm Cinderella. Yeah!
Yeah!
There should be a metal princess. Why is there a heavy metal princess?
There should be a metal movie, like Disney metal. Like they should do that and get some, like Jack Black could be in the film. He could be like the prince, and then they should get some metal princess, and it should be like a metal style Disney film. I mean, that would be really different and really interesting to see. Mm-hmm. So. Talk about bringing diversity. I mean, metal always gets the shaft in like music awards and everything. Like they're always like the unwanted stepchild that is somehow still invited to the party. And
it's true.
Like, they even announce awards like during commercial breaks. So like you didn't even see it half of the time. These are the people that during these award shows that turns off James Hetfield's microphone during a performance of Moth into the Flame.
With Lady Gaga. Speaking of Lady Gaga, I got to take this podcast off the rails for a second. I saw what you would have assumed this girl last night who was very much on meth. Looked like she was cosplaying as Lady Gaga, Harley Quinn, at H2O Glow Nights at Typhoon Lagoon. Every corner we turned around in that water park, she was there. It was freaky. And she was definitely on something. But... Yeah. Back to it. Heavy metal. Are you
sure you weren't at Six Flags?
Positive. I mean, the parks aren't that busy right now. That's another part of like this, war against Disney here. I don't think people are putting monies into the park all that often, right? It's they're listening to their handlers, and it's only going to get worse the closer we get to this next stupid election. So, Think for
Oh yeah,
yourselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forget about that. Next year, remember what that was like in 2020, where everything, everywhere, even in your TV shows, was about political content. It's like nobody could help themselves. It's
They,
like, sometimes people don't want to engage in that, and that's okay. Like, that's America. You can choose to engage or not engage, right?
right. And
You don't
if
want
you
to.
choose to want to not engage come November of next year and you want to just listen to bullshit, we'll still be around here talking about farts and diarrhea. So don't sweat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come here for classy content, people.
Classy
You
content.
want farts and diarrhea? We got it all for you.
You got it. Mike Norot's out there pooping in Wendy's all over America. He just started a tour. Did you know? And this is absolutely true. Don't look it up. Mike just started a tour. He's going to be pooping every Wendy's in America. He's starting in hometown Illinois there, and he's working his way, pooping every
Is that
Wendy's.
That's his signature move in wrestling. It's like the poopinator slam,
The poopinator slam.
and he just like does he like Rikishis them in the corner, in the turnbuckle after he like soils himself.
That would be a devastating maneuver. Talk about
I mean,
devastating.
it's like an instant KO. I mean, you'd be like the champ instantly.
Not only would you lose the match, you'd wake up with pink eye the next morning.
Actually, you would probably just be dead the next morning.
Or that, yeah.
You know?
Death by dysentery of the eye. You have died of Mike Norot's ass. In the Oregon Trail, you have died of Mike Norot's ass.
What would be a good name for his finishing move? I mean, if that was like if that was his finishing move, what would you call it?
The turtle pie.
Oh God, the turtle pie. What was Rikishi's like? What
The
was
stink
that? Where he
face.
like
The stink
the
face.
stink face?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He'd raise
What
the
what
roof
an-
and then he'd shit in the person's face in the corner. Not literally.
Could you
Look it up.
imagine explaining your wrestling personality to people? Like, oh well, what's your personality like? He's like, well, I wear sumo shorts and stick my fat ass in people's faces, and that's how. That's my wrestling move.
And like Rikishi, like comes from like a long ass legacy of wrestlers, right? He's related to The Rock. I mean, he's older than The Rock. He's related to The Rock. But he's related to Yokozuna. So it's like there's the Usos. That's his father. The Usos right now, the hottest thing in wrestling right now. Roman Reigns, the Uso brothers, like Jay and Jimmy Uso, like they're related to Rikishi. So it's like the fact that, and I know he enjoyed that, and he got a lot of popularity. And professional wrestling is entertainment, but like it's crazy to think that somebody of that caliber talent got really popular and famous for shoving his big pimply crater ass into people's faces. So, America.
I'd love to be in that meeting. It's like, let's think of a good move for you. Why don't you just shove your ass in people's face? There you go.
And then he went heel because he was the one who hit Stone Cold Steve Austin with his car. And then Rikishi got thrown off the top of the Hell in a Cell by The Undertaker into the back of a truck.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not a wrestling fan, if you just watch like the Hell in the Cell match with Mick Foley and The Undertaker, it's just like it's an unbelievable thing to watch.
That hit that was the 25th anniversary. That was this year. There's actually a video on WWE's YouTube of Mankind or Mick Foley and The Undertaker sitting down watching that match together and talking about it.
Yeah, I think I saw some of that. I wanted to watch the rest of that because that, even though I'm not like really a wrestling fan anymore, I think that's, the old school wrestling and stuff we grew up with is,
Sure.
Really cool.
That's
I could
right.
always like appreciate those old school wrestlers. I just realized too, I was watching something on YouTube the other day about Hulk Hogan, and I didn't realize he lived like in Clearwater Beach, and I'm like, fuck, I was just there and I didn't go to his shop.
Yeah.
But he was talking about like his workout routine and what was in his fridge. So that was like next time I come down to Florida to go to
Yep.
Clearwater.
I bought a I bought a Hogan's Beach Shop shirt from his shop in Clearwater once. He was not in there, but he's apparently in there at least once or twice a week, so I'm bound to run into him. So
Yeah,
that'll be cool.
that'd be.
Yeah. But so we had made mention of the box office struggling, and Kyle and I got to just wondering like what the hell are the top movies of 2023 thus far? It's July 9th, we're halfway through the year. and it just happened. It's just a lackluster movie year, right? Like I've seen movies this year that I've been very entertained by and enjoyed and hyped up for, mainly The Flash, Indiana Jones 5, right? But then you just feel like these should be doing better. So I'm curious, and just to see what everybody loved. The clear front runner, number one, which has surprised nobody, and we've talked about this before, is the Super Mario Brothers movie. Now, these are, as of right now, these are what these movies have made worldwide. And the Super Mario Brothers movie, Kyle, 1,341,187 in 272,000. Yeah, it's like 1.3. We'll call it 1.3 billion. 1.3 billion. That's insane, but awesome. A great movie, and it absolutely deserves it. And it's coming on Peacock like August 9th, I think I saw. So, FYI.
We saw that together, right?
We did. Yep. When you were out here, we saw that on Easter Sunday, actually.
Yeah.
And then we ran and met Brad at T-Rex while he was violating some Triceratops.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. You want to take a guess what number 2 is? You won't be shocked when you hear it, but it's also like...
Guardians?
It is. Yeah. It is Guardians.
Guardians is well-deserved.
It is.
Absolutely.
839... 100... basically 840 million. I'm going to round up. 840 million it's made worldwide. That's pretty good.
That just came out on digital, or DVD, Blu-ray and digital. Although I feel like I don't want to rush and watch that again, just because it's like an emotional massacre, right? Like, it's a great film, but like, man, that's hard to watch.
Yeah,
it was just such an emotional
journey. It was. Number 3. God damn it. With about little over 700 million is Fast X.
You can't see it, but I just eye rolled hard.
No, I act like I saw it because when I do the split screen,
nobody liked Fast X. I thought I got a shit review, and I don't know.
I saw that everybody's favorite jelly bean connoisseur, Dom Toretto, or whatever the hell his character is, but I saw him as he was acting as not Groot and as Vin Diesel. He's like, we're going to take what you said about Fast X and put it into the story. And then I think he fell asleep. Number 4, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, about 620 million. It's pretty good for an animated film. That's really flipping good.
But, with the love for that movie, that still seems lower than I would expect.
Really?
But
even as an animated film?
Yeah, I mean, it's Spider-Man. And I feel like there's so many people that say that that's their favorite Spider-Man. So I'm just shocked that it was not closer to a billion, but I think it was well deserved. It was a good movie. So I don't know when we'll get the next one, no, that's right. That's next year. Okay,
next year,
so,
yeah. Isn't it like almost done? They're just kind of wrapping it up kind of thing?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I give them credit on their progress, to make something so quickly. Thank God they're not like Bethesda. That's,
Disney.
marking the next Elder Scrolls. After we talked about this, they said, I read an article that later that day that said it's still 5 years away. So
that sucks for fans of that franchise. Yikes.
It's almost going to be 20 fucking years from the last one. 20.
Wow.
20 years. I was still living at home with my parents when they came out with the last one. And that was Xbox 360 when I got it. I'm like, that's...
Yeah, when Kyle started playing the game, I was escaping down the ladder in the backyard out of his mother's room. Saw him turning it on. He was all happy.
Okay.
Number 5 is your favorite movie, The Little Mermaid, at just about little over 530 million. Let's call it 531 because it should hit there eventually, maybe. So Little Mermaid 5th. That's decent, right? I don't think anybody expected that movie to make $1 billion or get close, right? Like, I think that's good. I mean, it's 5th, so I don't know. I'm not. Hey, calm down in the comments down there. Okay, calm down. I'm not like a professional critic. I don't know what these budgets are. I'm talking because we don't have much to talk about today, you stupid assholes. And I'm reacting. Okay, that's what we're doing. If you still want to say something, comment. We can have some fun. Kyle sucks. Number 6, coming in at about 477. Well, just a little bit over 476 million. That's a drop off. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which was a disappointment overall. But
Okay, how does the Ant-Man and the Wasp do better than? Well, we don't know Indiana Jones and the Flash's total, but I'm not hopeful that it will get to that heights. But like seriously,
I can give you. We're going to get to those two down the list. I'll tell you what they are when we get to them thus far. But their theater runs aren't done yet. But yeah, I know. But it's like you have the DC extended universe with what they've created, which a lot is divisive. It's divisive, Kyle. We've talked about that at length. So you've got a broken universe that Warner Brothers fucked up, and then a culmination of like they're limping to the end to reset everything, and then Indiana Jones theoretically should do better than Ant-Man 3. And if it doesn't, and it's looking like it might not, I'm going to be very upset. You know,
I just think it was funny to see people trying to defend that like film. I mean, even Chris Hemsworth recently came out and was like ripping on it. So
Ant-Man 3?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't see that.
Well, like, Marvel needs to start trying, and we'll get into Secret Invasion soon, but they really need to start trying again because they haven't been.
Number 7, coming in a little bit over 427 mil. John Wick Chapter 4. I have not seen that. I don't keep up with the John Wick flicks. Nothing against them. I just don't watch them. So, did you see this, or are you into these?
I wish I would. That was one of those movie franchises that I thought I would like, but I can't get into it. I watched the first 2, and I'm like, I love action, and I love Keanu Reeves. I just felt like bored watching it. I don't know.
Okay.
Like it just didn't do it for me. I get that people love it though.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's good. Hopefully those are good numbers for that movie. Number 8 on the list is Transformer: Rise of the Beasts. I still want to see this movie. I just don't think I'm going into the theater to see it because I'm not going to drag Courtney along for it. Because Beast Wars was my jam growing up, and that's made about $389 million. So that's solid if it's number 8 on the list. I've heard people say good things about this movie. So number 9 coming in at about $276 million is Creed 3. Did you see Creed 3?
No,
I did not.
It only made that.
Yeah,
wow.
$275,248,615.
It's probably because Sylvester Stallone wasn't in it.
Did he die in the second
wasn't...
one? Did he die in Creed 2?
I saw the first Creed and it was good.
Okay.
I haven't watched the second one.
Okay.
So I don't know. But I don't think he did. I think there's just some like company dispute or something where he wasn't in it, or he didn't sign on to it for some reason.
You got a guy can't do this movie and get hit in the face. You want to guess what number 10 is? What rounds up the top 10? You want to take a guess?
I have no idea.
It is.
I don't even
the controversial
remember.
The Flash. The Flash is at number 10 for top 10 currently right now, and it's not done with its theatrical release soon. Of 2023 worldwide box office, The Flash thus far has made just a smidgen under 250 mil. 249,785,000 exactly.
Wow.
So we have talked about the potential of this movie making $1 billion before on this podcast. Go ahead and call us out on it. I don't care. We were obviously wrong, and we've talked about the reasons why. It's still interesting to see this movie, as of right now, sitting in the top 10. I completely believe that this will get knocked out of the top 10 and will remain out of there on July 21st, the moment Oppenheimer comes out. And even the Barbie movie will probably make more than The Flash. I mean, we just got to be realistic about that. So, although I've read some things about the Barbie movie, not that I care. It just might ruin, a good movie for that studio, but whatever. Number 11, I'll run through these kind of last ones here. 11, Dungeons and Dragons, 208 mil. Elemental, which I heard not so great things about, only a little bit like under 201 million. And at number 13, Kyle, right now with $172,484,331 thus far, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. That's been out 2 weeks. This was the second weekend.
I don't know what to say. I just, it makes me sad because companies just react to numbers. So whether there's a good section of people that really like a certain thing, i.e. see Zack Snyder's Justice League universe, they don't care. They don't care if a number of people really enjoy this universe. If it's not doing good in the box office, they're not going to continue to do it. And this is a big problem right now because not only with the DC universe, but like these major franchises that people are, in love with are like under fire. Maybe it's just this year. Maybe it's been going on for a while, but it doesn't seem to bode well for the future. Like people are just not interested for some reason. I mean, you and I always will be, but I think people are getting a little bit burnt out. But then there's not really much else coming out at the movie theater. I mean,
Nope.
When was the last time you wanted to go to the movie theater to see something that wasn't like superhero or Star Wars, or like these, like a big franchise-oriented movie?
Actually, today I'm going to see one. No Hard Feelings. It's that comedy starring Jennifer Lawrence. Courtney's friend is in, and we're just looking for something to do, kind of beat the heat a little bit. We're going to Studio Movie Reel to see that movie. So, But that's just something to do. That's not like we didn't seek that movie out, right? We didn't see it coming out and be like, we got to see that. So,
Well, the only other movies that I go see would be like I don't think I ever go see comedies, but I'll see a horror movie. And like right now, Insidious 5 has come out.
yeah.
And I haven't had time this weekend to go see it, but I will be seeing that.
That's good.
So-
I'm trying to see. I'm looking at like the bottom movies because there's 200 on here. We don't have to talk about all 200. I'm trying to see where Blood and Honey lands, but I can't.
Don't
find it.
even bother.
Yeah.
Don't even bother. That's out for purchase, and it's like $2 or $3. You can buy
really?
that film. Yeah, nobody really should buy that film. Like that's something that happened, and
I found it. So it's 100. It's out of the 200. It's for this year. It's ranked 124th, and it's made just under $5 million. 4.9. It's made 4.9.
I feel like that's probably like way more than their budget was.
Yeah.
So they probably see that as a win. I know they're going to continue with that and add on. So I don't know.
Well, let's
I
talk
mean,
about things that continue to be added on to and don't need to be with Secret Invasion. So, You saw the third episode. I have not. You can talk about it. I'm going to watch it, but you can talk about it.
You're not going to like what I have to say because
Well, I'm not. This isn't like you've called this show Andor. Now, I love Andor, but this I don't love. So go ahead and say what you want to say about Secret Invasion.
I said this in the past that Andor is like one of Star Wars' most popular shows. And so now we're seeing it infect other shows. We've seen it infect The Mandalorian, and now we're seeing it in Marvel content. Secret Invasion is fucking boring as shit. Like, there's nothing happening on this show. I keep forgetting that it's airing each week. It's like, this could have been so much more, so much better of a story if it was an actual movie, with actual superheroes, because that presents a more interesting story. Maybe Iron Man shows up and he's not Iron Man, or or how does, you know what I mean? Like that was more in line with the comic book. But Marvel, they just took a great storyline in the comic book universe and just said, okay, well, this will get people drawn in, and now we're just going to write some other story and not really use anything from that because there's no superheroes that are really in this. I mean, War Machine's in that, but we're probably not going to see him suit up.
I was
Like,
going to ask, did he suit up yet? Because they're like teasing it.
No. I mean, I could see him suiting up maybe at the end because, like they're probably not putting that much budget into this show. But I just feel like it's this slow, boring story that's just very reminiscent of Andor. Like I've been very.
Let's say something about Andor real quick. Andor is universally loved. Secret Invasion is not. And when I say universally, I mean like most people like Andor.
I don't doubt that. Like I'm like the only person on the planet that does not like Andor.
No, Brad and Evan thought it was boring. So that's like the rare time. Well, not rare. Brad and I disagree on some things, but that's like one of the times that I'm against at least the two of them on something with Star Wars. So.
But you like everything Star Wars. So
No, I
like,
don't. I don't. I told you I didn't like Visions.
You don't like hate something Star Wars.
No, no, because I don't like. I love what I love. It's hard for me to say I hate things, right? DC, Star Wars, Metallica. I'm not going to say I hate those things. I'm not. It's just not how I'm wired, right? I can say I hate the content from it, but I still enjoy aspects of everything that my favorite things do. I mean, maybe it's a toxic trait. I get a little protective about it, but. Trust me, there are things that I'd never want to see again with Star Wars, right? Like Visions, haven't even snuffed Visions season 2. But I'm not into anime, so it's not my thing. There's been stuff, there's been stuff that's looked bad or things that I haven't really preferred. So, and DC,
I guess I can understand that to an extent.
In DC, I'm not running to watch that new Superman show. Because it is an anime one, the one on Adult Swim, and we've talked about them creating this in the past. I can't believe it took 2 years. But you say it's good.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and I mean it's not really breaking any barriers or anything like that. But I still don't know if this is going to be a show where, like, I continue to watch it or not. I just don't know that yet. I mean, it shows Superman as a child and then quickly growing up and learning about his powers. I mean, it's nothing like we haven't seen before. So I don't know. I mean,
where's our Superman video game, man?
Not only that, where's the Cape Crusader show that's supposed to have come out? Like,
they sold that to, was it Amazon Prime?
I have no idea. Even if still, like, when is it going to come out? Like, this is supposed to be like the kind of like set in the world or similar or a prequel of Batman the Animated Series.
Oh yeah.
So where is that?
I don't know. There wasn't even a cast announced for that, was there? Like they didn't say like so and so's gonna be Batman, did they?
Nope. All we know is Kevin Conroy was Thomas Wayne. So,
interesting. That's not the last content I'm looking forward to out of Conroy. I can't wait for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League if that ever comes here. If that ever comes out, rather, I should say. But
I'm not getting my hopes up.
No, that was supposed to be out already, May. After the 5th time it got moved. It's supposed to come out sometime this May, but that's okay. But Secret Invasion is boring. Did anything happen in the 3rd episode that was like, yay?
No. It's just like it's like easily the worst of the TV shows so far, and
really
it's a shame because they got some good people. They got some great people in there.
They do.
It just something needs to change. It's just like this very dark and slow and kind of monotone. It's just like it's not. It's not anything that's like interesting.
It's like, I don't want to get into an argument about Andor, but if you're gonna make like a spy thriller. I feel like with Star Wars, they picked the right time period. They may pick the right characters to do a spy thriller on. Cassian Andor is eventually like a very high, member of the rebellion, and obviously an important piece to helping get the Death Star plans to Princess Leia and the rest of the rebellion. But then, like with what we've seen out of the MCU thus far, the former Shield agents and Nick Fury and Maria Hill, yeah, they make sense as like the characters to use here, but it's like the way the MCU kind of set all of this up, I just don't think the fans are responding well to it. Especially with the point you made of like, and I don't know the source material all that well, so I'm not going to sit here and scream about it, but I have heard saying like, oh, you call it Secret Invasion. It's really not Secret Invasion. That's just Disney and Marvel taking liberties with beloved titles. It's like you're just slapping it on there to get people to press play. But when they press play, they're disappointed 20 minutes in, just as bad as they disappointed their girlfriend on prom night. So
Right.
it's like, it's bad. It's bad.
They got lazy.
Lazy is
They
right.
got used to like, over 10 years of content or actually almost 20 years of
Over, yeah,
content
yeah.
of like, every movie comes out $1 billion. They just got used to it. So then they got lazy. And then we started to see this with Thor, Love and Blunder, right? Like right after Endgame, you just kind of seen these movies come out and like they're lackluster. Like they just, they're like putting no time into it. Like they're not really cultivating a story. I mean, again, I'm not saying Spider-Man No Way Home wasn't good because it was excellent. Like I own that movie. It was excellent. And shut the fuck up, Evan. You are so wrong about that. Like he needs a come to Jesus moment about that movie, Indy 5
I know.
and Cosmic Rewind because it's like you're trying to criticize something that just is clearly wrong, Like it's okay to be wrong, but like you're really wrong.
Well, we were talking about numbers, and I quickly pulled up like top grossing superhero films. It's crazy to see how far the superhero films have like fallen from grace and how quickly. Now, you'd be stupid to say that comic book movie burnout was not going to happen. You'd be stupid to say that because it still very much intrigues you. It intrigues me. It intrigues our friends, the people who grew up with this stuff, and the people who want to see the stories about Batman, Superman, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, all that stuff. And then that bubble just popped, right? So if you look at like top grossing superhero movies, number one is Endgame, right? That made almost $2.8 billion, right? Right behind it is Infinity War, over $2 billion. Spider-Man No Way Home, Kyle was just talking about it, almost $2 billion. The Avengers, $1.5 billion. Age of Ultron somehow made almost $1.5 billion. Black Panther, rightfully so, made over $1 billion. Incredibles 2 is considered a comic book movie?
I guess so.
Well, okay, it's number 7 then, ranked. Iron Man 3, number 8. Civil War, number 9. 10. Like the first DC movie. Do you want to take a guess what the first DC movie is on this?
Batman vs Superman?
No. We're talking about movies that made $1 billion.
The Dark Knight?
No, Aquaman. Aquaman made more money than Dark Knight. 1,148,161,000. Number 11 is Far From Home. 12, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel made $1 billion?
Ugh.
Did it really? Wow. I didn't know that. We shit on that movie a lot, but people showed up for it. Huh. I mean, is it...
I don't know.
I'm asking objectively here. I don't like the movie. Never went back to watch it. Do people really like Captain Marvel? Because I never hear anybody talking about this movie. I really don't. I don't. I'm telling you. I mean, it made $1 billion, but Dark Knight Rises is number 13.
It's like when I was in Paris and I walked past the Marvel Hotel at Disney. They had a statue of 3 statues out front. Big statues. Black Panther, well deserved.
It's a good
Iron
statue.
Man,
Yep.
deserved. And then Captain Marvel. Why? Nobody likes Captain Marvel. It's like nobody's saying like Captain Marvel's my favorite superhero. Nobody's saying that. And if we're talking about having a diversity, like you could pick somebody else. I would have put Scarlet Witch. She's amazing.
Oh, I
She's like
would have loved to have seen Scarlet Witch up there in a statue. I mean, just thinking about how badass that statue would look, but she was kind of the bad guy in Doctor Strange too. So it's like you kind of
so what? She's been a good guy too. Like she's like way more interesting as a character than Captain Marvel. Like Captain Marvel is like the most boring, unoriginal, uninspired character I've ever seen. So like
I get it. It's our opinion, and either Disney's lying to us that people are into her, so that's why they're pushing her, or people really are, and you and I just have blinders on. It's as simple as that. I don't know. The only thing I do know is that Mrs. Marvel's the sequel to this, that poster did not look good. Like Brie looked good in the poster compared to the other two, and it's not a smash against the actors and the actresses in those roles. They look fine, but the costuming and like the way it was edited does not look like a sequel follow-up to a $1 billion movie. Have you seen the poster yet?
I saw the trailer when I went to see Indy 5.
I keep forgetting about
and
the trailers. Man.
And I mean, I don't know. This is I will say that to its credit, that this is the first time we're seeing crossover with a TV show in the movies, I believe. So,
Low-key.
like they showed, well, yeah, but this is more of like, making a new character, like a new Marvel TV show.
Okay.
Like, I can't remember if
Did Agents of
Monica
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Rambeau.
Wasn't Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. they made mentions to certain movies?
Oh, they did it so lazily. Like it was so stupid. Like when Thanos came, I remember the episode. Like Infinity War came out that weekend, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we were waiting for it. And like the whole episode was about something different, and at the end, Coulson's like picks up the phone. It's like, "Oh my God, call the Avengers! Thanos has invaded!" And then like they like didn't revisit that. I'm like, okay, that's super lazy. Like they just
called the Avengers. The Avengers were there. They saw it.
Yeah. So
Like,
it was something like that, and I'm just like, that's just bullshit.
like Tony
and
was
then they
in
lazily
New York. Stupid. Yeah.
they like lazily tried to connect it, and you're just like, I don't understand. Like I'm not saying use some big CGI action sequence, but everything about that story should have been about Thanos invading. But
True.
I think what they thought that show was going to be was like far away from what it was, because they clearly didn't have the budget to do what they wanted with it, or they just, maybe didn't care. I mean, I'm not saying Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a bad show. I mean, the first couple seasons were great. I loved it. But then, I think it was like the latter 2 seasons, I'm just like, I'm done, So
Winston's done with it too. I don't know if you can hear.
yeah, Winston is done.
He is. So other notable movies, right? Like Captain Marvel's just a one above The Dark Knight Rises in money made. Sit down. I know that one's getting in your craw. The Joker's number 14. The Dark Knight, 15. Top grossing superhero movies. Made just a bit over $1 billion. So it's pretty good for 2008, right? And that movie still very much stands the test of time.
But these movies are, if you adjust it for inflation, if you go on Box Office Mojo and you can adjust movies for inflation,
That's fair.
that those movies are a lot higher up.
Yeah, I have not adjusted this for inflation. This is the Wikipedia list. So
it's like seeing a movie in 2008 was like what, $5-6 a movie ticket. Now it's like shit, almost.
I don't know. Your mom
$50
paid for my
like,
ticket.
Oh, you're just lazy. Stop being lazy. Say something good. Like make a good insult.
I did. I called you the runner-up to the Gerber baby earlier today. Like what more do you want? I come up with fresh things every week. You're just sitting there twiddling your little Stuart Little hands.
No, you pulled Lameth into this stupid
Lameth?
like,
You're calling her Lameth?
yeah. You pulled her into that, and I'm just like, this is like, I don't know how you get these guests on your show. Like, I don't know if it's like some make a wish for like three dudes with intellectual decline or something like
My
that. But
executive function is potato, I'll have you know.
yeah, your whole show is a potato.
It's we get them on because they know where to go to if they want the people of the Star Wars community to listen to them. So
But you're three dudes that keep saying The Last Jedi is the greatest thing ever Star Wars made, and it's like
correct.
I'm not saying it's the worst thing because we know that's Andor and Rogue One. And even you could throw the prequel trilogy in there, but like holy shit. It's just not true. It's not true. Okay?
Are you done?
See Return of the Jedi, see it. Just go see it, watch it again, and then compare it to this. Even Mark Hamill is like, this is probably not what it should have been.
Mark
but
Hamill's a boomer. What does he know? Okay,
the dude's
boomer.
Luke Skywalker.
I know.
The dude's
He
Luke
portrays Luke
Skywalker.
Skywalker. He didn't create the character. He portrays it.
Han Solo, Harrison Ford wanted to kill himself
Yes.
and his character just so he wouldn't be in The Last Jedi. I mean, let's all face it. That's the real reason, everyone.
See, that would have been a good joke if he wasn't trying to get himself killed since episode 4. So that would have been a good joke. But here we
That
are.
was a good joke. That was a good joke.
The Batman is number 31 on this list at 770 million, almost 771 mil. So
Well, if we could say anything, at least the Batman is going strong. I mean, again, I agree that maybe the Batman isn't a movie for everybody. I mean, I loved it. I think it was great, but it's dark and gritty and very noir. And, it's not for like, the Marvel fans who just don't want to think when they watch
Yeah.
a movie. But, it is what it is. We're going to get Brave and the Bold. I think they should get a different director. Get Andy Muschietti out of there
No,
because we
it's-
already proven like
that movie wasn't his fault. That was
it, but it is. It primarily is because him and his wife laughed when he saw people asking to recast Ezra Miller, and they
okay.
should have
okay.
because that was the single-handedly probably the reason this movie plummeted. Ezra Miller was great in the movie. I'm not going to give him. I'll give him credit. I mean, like Brad said, like you kind of hate that you like him.
Yep.
And whether or not he did what he did, it's the way Hollywood works and the way public opinion works. Like, we could all be saying this about Jonathan Majors. Like, oh man, the media just Johnny Depped him, right? But
Well, he's still fighting for his name, right? He's
Yeah.
still battling, and he's not like the one who plays Namor, Humberto. I don't know his full name, but I know I think his situation's worse, at least based on the just the headlines
Really?
I've seen. Yeah, just the headlines I've seen. Do not quote me for that, please. Have not
Now,
looked into it
I would-
for a while.
I would agree that money and power changes people. I would 100% agree to that, but I also feel like that when you have money and power, people will try anything they can to take advantage of you too.
Yep.
And that means smearing your name. The best warfare is psychological, right? The most efficient. Like if you can shape public's opinion, you could take down countries and shape, you know what I mean? Like you can do a lot with that.
Sure
And
can.
social media, in particular, I'm not going to say sways voting elections or anything like that. But
Well, they try. You could say they try.
They certainly try. They certainly try. So I don't know. Like it's just kind of like a shame sometimes because the fans lose out. I mean, some of these great characters, Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow. I mean, the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise needs a revamp because those movies have really never been that good. But everybody agrees that we all like seeing Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, even if
Absolutely.
the story is trash. Even if the story is trash, he's still an interesting character. So it's a shame, to lose some of these people. If it comes out that Ezra Miller is just completely innocent or something like that, it'll be a total shame because, look at what people did. They took down his movie. They pretty much destroyed his career. Like, I don't think we're going to see much of him in anything else in the future. he will be lucky if he's the Flash again.
Do you think he'll reprise his role as what's his nuts in Credence and Fantastic Beasts?
They shouldn't. I've said this before. They should not continue Fantastic Beasts.
They're going
in any way,
to
shape,
just stop it.
Oh no, we don't want that. Nobody
Fantastic
wants
Beasts
that.
and Where to Fart.
Nobody wants that. No, you've tried 3 times, and it's just like it's stuff that nobody wants to see. Like everybody knows what everybody wants to see in the Harry Potter world, but they're not doing it because, again, WB is filled with stupid idiots.
They are
stupid people.
They are
dumbest of all dumb.
Yep. You've been listening to Fourth Mother Box. Speaking of dumb, follow us at Fourth Mother Box on Instagram. FourthMotherbox.com not FourthMotherbox.com. YouTube.com/FourthMotherbox. You guys have been great. We've been Fourth Mother Box, fumbling through all of this madness. We always let Kyle give the final thoughts today. So if you don't have anything else you want to chat about, Kyle, let's wrap this bad boy up. These people have been puking for almost an hour straight, and give us the final thoughts today for this beautiful episode that had no agenda.
I do have some good final thoughts today. Go see a movie. Support these movies. We want to see them continue. I get that maybe not every movie or TV show might be good. I've talked a lot about ones I did not like today, but go see it. Support it. This is what's going to make it continue, right? Like, I think they're starting to realize that they need to start changing the game and the way they write these things, but don't just wait for it to come on streaming. Like, stop being a cheap fuck. Go see these movies. Support it.